Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Holly Shields here for 𝐾𝐿 TV, welcoming you all to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks, the show where we bring you industry leaders, successful business owners and market experts all under one roof to help you discover the latest economic insights. On today's show, we're joined by Danielle Stein Fairhurst, Principal Financial Modeler at Plum Solutions, a city-based provider of professional financial modeling solutions. Welcome to the show, Danielle. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Hi, Holly. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. So to kick things off, first of all, congratulations on achieving the 2021 prestigious Microsoft Most Valuable Professional or MVP award. Can you tell us a bit about the award and what it meant for you?
Yeah, thanks very much for that. It was very exciting to get that. It is an award that is reserved for professionals who give to the community and know a lot about Microsoft products. For me, it's all about Excel. So you can see the award just there behind me. And it is something that's given for work with the community. So I run a lot of meetups, a lot of online communities, particularly for women in financial modelling, and it's all about the use of Excel for the purposes of financial modelling. So it was wonderful to be recognised in that way.
That's excellent. You're obviously doing a great job there. Now, a lot of us use Excel, but I bet not too many people thought financial modeling could be applied to these tools we use in our daily lives. You've actually written a couple of books on the subject, including Financial Modeling in Excel for Dummies, no doubt a top-tier addition to the series. What made you decide to write this particular book?
Yeah, I was very surprised that it hadn't been written before, because financial modelling is something that I think a lot of people think is really complex, and it can be complex, but really it's just about the use of Excel to predict what's going to happen in the future. So basically, if you change the inputs, then the outputs will change. That's really the point of building a financial model, so that you can see perhaps what your profitability is going to be in the future, or you can see what your cash flow is going to be in the future. So if you were to adjust any of those inputs, then the outputs would change, and it gives you an idea of what's happening in your business in the future. And it's really not that difficult, and so that's why I wanted to write the book. And I'm actually just working on the second edition of that book, which is really exciting.
That is exciting. We look forward to hearing that. And it does sound like that Excel work is actually really crucial for businesses to get that blueprint plan of their business out there, although it must be quite often overlooked.
Yes, it is. It's really important for businesses to know where they're heading and what their financials are going to look like around the corner, next week, next month, next year, particularly in an uncertain environment like we have at the moment.
Absolutely. And in your opinion, how can a business person build their own financial models, budgets, forecasts, and analytical reports?
Yeah, I think it's important to sort of start. The cash flow is a really good place to start. How much money do I have in the bank? How much am I expecting? Looking at your revenues coming in, that's really important, being able to do that. And then perhaps running some sensitivities on that. So what would happen if I were to lose one of my clients? Or what would happen if I get this, if I win this project? And then you can sort of forecast what expenses you're expecting, that sort of thing. That's the kind of thing perhaps that you would build a financial model for. And then of course you can, from that you can build your profit and loss, to get an idea of profitability, and perhaps you need a balance sheet and a cash flow statement going forward.
Definitely all crucial aspects for a business. Now, just to touch on the training sessions that you give both Australia and globally, how has the pandemic affected the way you're able to run your business?
Yes, I I used to, I do, the two parts of the business are consulting, so building financial models for clients, but a lot of what I do is training as well. So teaching people who are working in finance the skills for building a financial model. And what I used to do was to run training courses all over the world. So I used to go to the Middle East, at least every couple of months. I spent a lot of time in Asia, being based in Sydney. I used to spend a lot of time on the plane, and that's a little bit more difficult. I haven't been anywhere for quite some time, and all of our training is now done online, either through pre-recorded videos or through live Zoom sessions. So lots of getting up in the middle of the night. I just finished running one in Caribbean, which was basically ran overnight Sydney time, and I've just also done one in Saudi, so in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, which was later in the evening. So different times of day, but it's absolutely possible to do training virtually nowadays. And who knows if we'll get back to doing face-to-face training in the future.
All right. Well, I've got to say it's incredible that you have this really widespread global presence, and I can imagine that the various financial analysis training, is actually a universal thing that all these businesses globally can make use of.
Yes, this is the amazing thing about Excel. You can hop on a plane, or as we used to hop on a plane, and go anywhere in the world and open up Excel, and it pretty much looks the same all over the world. It is such a transferable skill to have, to know how to use Excel for financial modelling.
Absolutely. And as you just touched on, the pandemic has obviously shifted quite a bit the way you do work. Could you maybe shed some light on managing liquidity and stability as we emerge right now from a pandemic?
Yeah, I think having really good models has never been more important. Knowing, being able to adjust what you think is going to happen. So, in Sydney, we've just had an unexpected lockdown, which has affected a lot of businesses. And so being able to, quickly adjust your forecast. So having good models in place can help you to quickly adjust what you think is, what your cash flow is, and to run scenarios to get an idea of what your financials are going to look like under different scenarios.
Definitely, and I think it's certainly key to have those worst case scenarios in place, like we've experienced recently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned that you have a second book coming out. What's the title of that book?
Oh, it was I have written the Wiley Finance book, Using Excel for Business and Financial Modelling, but the Financial Modelling for Dummies is actually the second edition of the same book that's coming out. So it's just a revised edition, because Excel is changing all the time, and so we need to always be revising the instructions and the way that the software looks in the book. So that's why it needs to be revised every couple of years.
Well, Danielle, that makes perfect sense. On top of that revised edition that you have coming out soon, is there anything else on the horizon for you that we could look forward to?
Yeah, I do love to share my passion for financial modelling, and I run a lot of live meetups. Actually, about to go into one this evening. We run them every couple of weeks, and they are online sessions. We get a couple of hundred people joining every time from all over the world, different topics related to financial modelling. So I'd love to see anyone there who's interested, and I do I generate a lot of videos and content and things online. My LinkedIn profile is probably the best place to find me.
Well, that's good to hear. We'll definitely have a look at your LinkedIn profile, and we'll keep an eye out for that new book that you have coming soon. On that note, it's just about time to wrap up, but I've got to say thanks so much for joining us today, Danielle. It's been a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. And thanks for your time as well, viewers. Stay tuned for more live market updates. As we say here, stay apprised and invest wise with 𝐊𝐶𝐘.